Hey everybody, hope all is well. Welcome back to the ShabinLife. I am Dave.
I'm Dana.
We don't typically get a chance to introduce ourselves like this, at least together, because Dana's not normally with me when I'm up here. She's holding down the fort in the burbs. But we wanted to take a quick minute and just sort of say who we are, what we're doing, where we're going, all that good stuff. For those of you who are new to the channel and or just coming back to check out the videos, we really appreciate it. We bought this land about 3 years ago. It was well overgrown with trees and everything else you can imagine, and we have slowly hand cleared a few acres, mostly so that we had a place to put our shabin, a place to start marking out to where we would put our house. About 8 months ago, we broke ground to start building the house that's behind us. If you haven't seen any of those videos, feel free to go back and check them out. We are at a point where we're undercover as far as the house is concerned, and our next project was going to be the accessory mechanical building where we're standing. That was going to hold, or that will hold, all the mechanics, the cistern, all the solar inverter charge controllers, batteries, panels, all that good stuff. However,
because of this state of the world and the increasing prices for materials and the lack of availability for a lot of those materials, we've decided that we're going to have to shift gears, kind of put this project on hold and move another project up. We had originally planned on not working on the garden and the orchard until maybe next spring, but since we're going to wait on the accessory building, we're actually going to refocus our energies on clearing some more land and starting to work on what will be our garden.
Yeah, which we'll take you down there in a second. It's just basically going to be a lot of what we did before. Hopefully we can do it a little bit faster. The hope is that maybe we can pick up some machinery that we were going to hold off on until maybe next year, this year. You know, it would be nice to have a nice big tractor with a loader and a hoe on there. And we've been looking for that, and we're hoping to find just about the right piece of equipment that can sort of help us in all the areas where we need it. We'll show you quickly while we're walking out where the orchard's going to go. It's more towards the front of the property, and then like I said, we'll walk you down to where the garden is. Before we get there, we are also going to make some changes in regards to the channel too. I mean, it's been a lot of building, and I see a lot of people putting out videos that are also channels that just build. You know, that is not us. We just happen to only be doing that right now. We're building the house ourselves. I'm surprised we were able to catch as much video as we were, simply because it's difficult building the house by yourself, as most of you guys know. But a lot of the channels out there that are just building have put out videos saying, hey, you know, don't be upset if we don't come out with new videos. You know, material costs, shortages, transportation, all that stuff is affecting not only their build, but the ability to make the videos. So our hope is to kind of shift and show you guys just our life. I mean, we're moving up here for much more than just an off-grid house. You know, we're into a lot of great things in regards to, you know, gardening and, you know, hunting and prepping and crafting and creating, you know, reuse, recycle, repurpose. And, you know, we love that kind of stuff, and we're outdoor people. We'd live in the shed if Pennsylvania would allow us, but it just doesn't work that way. And we would spend 90% of our life outdoors, which is what we hope to do. So because we're slowing down on the building, it may give us an opportunity for us to do maybe some shorter videos, or, you know, whatever. It's always hard to edit those videos down to something shorter, as it will be for this one too.
But share some other interests as well, not just the building.
Yeah, not just building. And
the other big thing that's kind of taken us away from the channel and the build here is that, you know, we're in the process of getting ready to, you know, put our suburban home on the market. So that takes a little bit of time, packing and clearing and cleaning, and
we had some things to fix there too.
Yeah,
so we've done some construction there, and, you know, some concrete work and some sheetrock work. So we've spent some more time there, which means less videos up here. I guess it happened at a good time, since we sort of wanted to hold off on purchasing materials anyway.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll walk you down and real quick just kind of show you where the potential garden's going to be, give you guys something to maybe look forward to other than me just being in the house. There are some things in the house that I haven't shown you guys yet. I did rough in all the electrical. I don't think I went back and showed any of that stuff. So if I can piece together something worthwhile, I will. Otherwise, I may actually save a lot of that electrical until this building's put in, because we'll be, you know,
tying it into the solar.
Yeah, we'll be feeding another panel over here, and it would be nice to walk you through the whole system, not just half the system. But Again, we're Dave and Dana. If this is your first time stopping by, feel free to subscribe or don't. We don't care. We're really doing this so that you guys can just enjoy yourselves and that my family can get to see what's going on and we can document it for our future whatever. But we'll walk you guys down to the garden. Any questions, concerns that you might have in regarding this white pipe behind us, because no matter how many videos I do, it seems like that's the question of the day. Just so you know, that is going to tie into the cistern and feed water to our house. But we'll take you down and kind of show you where the garden's going to go. If you can picture being down there, I picture when I look at there like a Joe Lample garden on steroids. I'll take you down. All right, guys, so I can't really see because of the sun, so hopefully I'm getting a good shot. But, you know, I'll turn and kind of show you. Here's the house. You know, there'll be a deck that comes out here and goes around the side of the house. So the idea is that, you know, this is our sweet spot looking down here. When you go back into our land this way, there's definitely some usable space, but then it gets into, you know, typical, you know, North Pennsylvania where it's rocky and there's a lot of elevation changes and it's great for hunting, but it's not exactly the best. It's not exactly the best for,
Gardening.
For, you know, gardening, orchards, all that kind of stuff. Not too flat. So this big brush pile will obviously go away, but we're going to continue to add to it. This big tree behind it has to come down. But the idea, if you can see, is obviously we have this lot cleared, you know, all the way over to this little line. That will continue all the way down.
You can finally get an idea of the size.
Yeah, I guess you can see a little bit of the size. And it goes back quite far, actually. But the idea is that it's going to run down and it'll go back into the woods, let's say another 100 feet or so. And then it comes all the way across past this big tree, and then it comes up the side, and it basically finishes on the left-hand side of this pile. So it basically is going to end up being maybe around 150, maybe a little bit bigger, and that will ultimately be the garden. All right, so I know that the iPhone doesn't typically show too much in regards to left and right, but it'll be about 150 by 150 here over at the garden, and you know, we have grand plans, you know, like I'm sure a lot of other people do, to fence off the garden eventually, because there's a lot of animals up here that would probably destroy a lot of that stuff if we didn't. But there'll be mini hoop houses in there and stuff. The hope is that we can do a nice chicken run all the way around the garden, add the chicken house right to, like attach it right to, maybe split that house to have maybe a sort of mini greenhouse. The hope is that we can put some high tunnels up to the left where we can clear some land. You know, grand ideas over the course of the years. But this garden is a big deal for us, especially because this year alone, because everything that's going on and the fact that we're getting ready to put our suburban house up for sale, we didn't really plant our garden down there. So it's going to be the first year that we're not really growing a ton of food, which is rough. It's, you know, it's what we love to do and what we're looking forward to. So the sooner that we can get this kind of worked out, the better it will be for Dana and I to just keep doing what we want to do. But again, we're going to essentially make a big square out here. It needs to be kind of graded off and leveled just a little bit, and a lot of work to do, which is where the machinery will help come into play. Maybe we can do this a little bit quicker than we did the rest of the land.
I was going to say, you know, the machinery is definitely going to help because of the rock situation here. You know, we try and pick up and move as many as we can by hand and with a hand truck or a wheelbarrow, but you know, some of these boulders, there's just no moving them by hand. We need the machine to get them out of the way.
Some of these bigger ones around here will be nice to use as stack stone around the accessory building base. So we'll get used to the ones that are close to it, but I mean, even the ones in this pile are crazy, and as we go back, it just gets even more nuts. But again, I mean, I know it's hard to tell. We just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of what the plan is, you know, for us and for you guys to kind of look forward to. You know, we'll eventually burn this pile down and be able to hopefully push some of that wood ash down into where the area that we're going to clear and kind of turn up. But that's the general idea. Hopefully we can bring you guys along while we do all that stuff. And you know, this is really exciting. We've drawn this out, you know, a ton of times, and like I said, have grand ideas, and we'll see how much of it comes to fruition or how it changes as we go through the process. But we're going to head out in a few minutes, and just wanted to take the time to, like I said, say hi and, you know, let you know that, you know, some of the house building videos, you know, they may kind of come along as we piecemeal some wood together, or we see, you know, the hope is that we can get some insulation and some sheetrock, because I'm not seeing as much inflation in those
increase,
prices. So, you know, we'll be back inside doing some insulation and sort of moving towards getting our UNO. That way we can start to make this more of a permanent residence for ourselves. In the meantime, as we've done in the past, we'll just continue to live in the shed or the Shabin. You know, we'll live down there. It's great that it's getting a little nicer out, so it's easier to kind of be in there. But we're going to head out, but we'll walk you guys kind of across the land and show you a little bit of where the orchard's going to be. We've got an idea for a really nice pond, you know, down in the front end of the property. They don't have stormwater, or there's no, obviously, sewer system. You know, we're out in the boonies, so the idea is that you have to control stormwater runoff, and we've been doing that already, and we're going to continue to do that with the rain collection off the roofs, which is great for not only the stormwater management, but obviously it's where we're going to get our water, so we're excited about that. But we do have one culvert under the driveway that flushes a lot of water when we get heavy rain, so the idea is that we can funnel that down into a small pond. It kind of's making itself at the moment, but we'll walk you that way and you guys can check it out. So this is the garden area, and our property goes a few hundred feet that way, and then as we walk this way, you can see there's a shed, got the house, and again, sort of being on this side of the pile, you know, the garden will go all the way back through and then all the way back and come up this side. So it's going to be a really nice sized garden, and we're really excited. We're kind of maxed out where we live at home, and you know, we've always wanted to make it bigger, but we know that in order to sell the house, we'd either have to have somebody that just is totally in love with gardening like we are, or it might not be as appealing when we put the house up. But the idea is that we're going to do a pond way down there. There's a runoff through this ravine behind Dana that kind of goes underneath that pile and all the way down. So we can sort of use that as a fill for the pond. You can kind of see even here, we had some rain, and there's some areas, you know, right along here. We may even do a small pond here and then an overflow that goes down and all that good stuff. But again, here's the Shabin up here, and our driveway goes out, and this whole area up here is going to be an orchard. It's just a really pretty space. It gets a lot of light. It's a good area in order. It has just a little bit of a grade, so the water runoff will be nice. The septic tank that we're installing is down by this flag, and then it'll pump up to a drainage field that's below the orchard down there and well past where a pond would be down here. So the idea is that where these flags are, if you can see them, where Dana's at, it's sort of in a grid pattern. You know, there's one, and then you can see there's 4 across, and then right now we have 16 laid out, mostly because we need to clear a little bit more. But the idea is that this is all going to become an orchard, and we really do like I think it's an Annie crabapple. You know, wouldn't be my first choice to put anything in, but it's so pretty, and we're going to cut it back a little bit, and we're going to base the orchard, the grid style orchard, around that tree. So that'll be enough work to keep us going for a while. I mean, obviously we cleared this when we first got here, so this has been great. It's a lot to mow, but this has been great to kind of have, and now that we were able to throw some flags down, we can get a general idea of, you know, what we want to do, how many, you know, trees we think we can put in. We think we obviously can go well past the 16 that we put in already, but we kind of want to see how the drainage field ends up, see what the runoff for this, you know, for the culvert pipe is. Don't want to go too big too fast. But like I said, we were going to hold off on a lot of this. We flagged it out one day just because we were having some fun. But really, there's not going to be anything to disrupt this area. So our hope is maybe to start cutting up some sod, you know, digging down. And, you know, if we order Stark Brothers trees now, we should get them sometime in like 2027, it sounds like. So we'll see how that works out. But we have picked out tons of trees over the last year or two. So we'll see how it works out. But we're going to try and develop the orchard, get some trees in. Obviously, the sooner we get them in, the sooner we start getting some fruit. So yeah, that's the general idea. Dana wants to say something, but she's queuing me up.
No, I just, you know, you turn the camera, so now you can kind of see, you know, the house up to the right, and then what will be the garden, another perspective, you know, over here to the left.
And I mean, there's still a huge area in here that's between, let's say, you know, the pond and orchard and the garden.
Yeah.
You know, we know that that'll be usable space for us. The idea is to slowly thin this out a little bit. One, so that we have a nice view, you know, up here to where the ridge is. But, you know, we want to put some animals in here and stuff, so we know we're going to need homes for those guys and areas for them to kind of hang out. So as we kind of move through the garden, that'll take away a little chunk, and then as we come over here and develop where the septic tank needs to go, we're going to need to clear out a couple of these trees to dig. So that'll obviously, you know, take care of some of that for us. Some of these, you know, trees we left up, there was no reason to take them down at the time, so we'll see how they work out. The pond is, you know, way down there, and there's a really big rock about the size of like a Volkswagen Bug that's down there that we sort of want to dig, you know, out and around so that we can use that rock as sort of a jetty going out. But that's sort of the idea. You know, we'll see how it works out, but we just wanted to take a few minutes and say what's up. And, you know, thank you guys for watching the videos over the past couple years. And I always say I hope it's getting a little bit more exciting for you. I would like to have been a little bit further along on the house, but, you know, I can't control, I guess, what's going on in the world right now. So we're just going to control what we can and, like Dana said, shift gears and sort of take an approach to some other stuff. We don't want it to hold us up in developing the land. So we figure maybe we can be a little bit farther ahead, you know, once the house is finished on all the garden and the orchard style stuff. And I'm sure there'll be some other things along the way that we want to do as well. One of the cool things that we started looking at last time was we wanted to make a shooting alley, you know, back in the property, and we were kind of eyeing up some spots back there. So for those of you who like to plink around, you know, we'll try and do some videos of us checking out the property back there and trying to find a nice sweet spot to be able to put in a small range. That way we can, you know, when the nieces and nephews and when Dana and I are hanging out, we can, you know, do a little plinking and sight some rifles in, all that good stuff. But just add to a little bit of fun outdoor enjoyment. You know, set up some stands to shoot some bows and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun, and we hope you guys stick around to check it out. I guess until then, go back and watch the other videos. But we'll do our best to keep you guys in the loop. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.
Bye.
Hey everybody, hope all is well. Welcome. All right.
We got a script?
What's up?